right, peace, family. Welcome to We Charge Colonialism podcast. I am Ikemba Jore. We Charge Colonialism, one of the head writers and researchers. We Charge Colonialism is a grassroots think tank. And part of our mission, of course, is to make sure that we are informing, educating African people, not just about their conditions or position in the world, but things that we can do as African people to advance us, to empower us. And so the discussion that we're going to have today is revolving around what we can do to empower us in a sense. And so I'm here with Abundance and Ujamaa, the Abundance and Ujamaa movement. And I'm a proud member of this movement as well. So I'm really looking forward to this discussion that we're going to have. The Abundance and Ujamaa movement have recently put out an ebook, the very first ebook, Living in Abundance. So we're going to discuss that book today. But before we get into that, folks, you already know what I'm going to ask you to do. Make sure that you first like, and then share this podcast. Share this podcast with your inner circle. Share it on social media. Make sure that you are informing people that we are having these discussions here on the We Charge Colonialism channel. So this isn't the first time that I have had Abundance and Ujamaa with us. We recently discussed Kwanzaa. First, before we get into the book, how was Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa was great. It was a beautiful celebration. It's always great to continue that tradition. You know, it was our third year of doing the Kwanzaa extravaganza, and you know, it was beautiful. The community came out and supported us. You know, we had a very lively, very interactive children's program. We had a lot of different cultural performers. You know, Brother Israel with his spiritual empathy, dance his own unique dance form, was definitely one of the highlights. We had the fashion show, the sister Endurance Mommy, that was definitely a highlight. The children's program was a highlight. The food was amazing. It was a beautiful program. It was great to see the community come out. In the community, you know, it was really a practice of Ujamaa, collective work and responsibility. The community came out, supported. They donated to the Zawadis. They donated food. You know, we got a lot of support, you know, from the community, and it was a beautiful experience had by all. We also want to give thanks to the Brooklyn Masonic Temple for, you know, opening up their space for us, and you know, allowing us to use that for our Kwanzaa extravaganza. Hopefully we can partner with them in the future again. So we give thanks for, you know, everybody who helped, you know, make this third annual Kwanzaa extravaganza, you know, a successful event.
Yes, Brother Yomi, you're absolutely right. Peace, family. Good to be on this program. Yes, Kwanzaa was an amazing event. I mean, Brother Yomi hit it right on the spot. The community came out, they supported, they brought their children. It was a beautiful family event. The children's program, I feel like, was also a highlight of the event. The children came, they were very involved in creating arts and crafts centered around Kwanzaa. We were able to have dinner family style. So overall, it was an amazing event, and we're looking forward to making it bigger and better next year.
This year.
This year.
Yeah, I still need a few more days to tune into 2023.
Ashe. Definitely a powerful event. And one of the things that we do at Abundance and Ujamaa is put on these cultural events. It's a part of building institutions that celebrate African culture and history, as well as institutions that we can use to galvanize or organize African people around in order to educate, inform, and again, empower us. So as an African nation, just like all nations, we have cultural memory practices, and Kwanzaa is part of that cultural memory practice. If you click on the link tree, I put the link tree in the chat. you'll get an opportunity to see some of the works that Abundance in Ujamaa has done and plans on doing in the future. And next month, we are based in Brooklyn, New York. Next month, we'll be having our annual Black History Month event. I think it's our third or fourth, right? I think this is our third.
Yeah, it's our third annual event.
Right. So, and this year's theme is Black Resistance. So, in the spirit of Black resistance, because as African people, anything that goes against African freedom, liberation, our way of life, we have an issue with that. We always have. So, we never, there wasn't a time in our history that someone came along and was able to just overpower us without us resisting that oppression and exploitation. So, it's about looking at that history and different things that we did to be able to survive under all of these harsh conditions. And so, one of those ways is, love of family, love of community, love of ourself. Because once the love is diminished, you're going to give up. What other reason is there to live for if it isn't, loving yourself and loving the people around you? Because it's loving your community is what makes you want to resist and fight, right, in order to liberate yourself. So that's next month. But this discussion that we're having today is around the ebook that we put out. Abundance in Ujamaa has published Living in Abundance. And this was put out during Kwanzaa. And it is for purchase now. But we want to talk about what the motivation was behind creating this book, Living in Abundance. So if you want to talk to the people and let them know what Living in Abundance is about, and then the motivation behind putting out this ebook, or maybe the other way around.
Yeah,
We
peace.
Peace family.
No, go ahead.
I'm Empress Livewire, and I'm in agreement with what my brother and sister said, huh?
Livewire, thank you for saying that. So at the Livewire, introduce yourself. I didn't even let the guests introduce themselves.
But yeah, I second everything my family just said. We had an amazing Kwanzaa event, but our motivation behind putting out the book, well, my perspective on it is that we wanted to, I gotta stop saying right, family? We wanted to be the example that we want to see, and we wanted to share the knowledge that we're gaining along the way. We want to share that with our community because it was mentioned earlier that it's all about loving our people. And if we have information, if we have valuable tools, why not share it with our community and start building from within to make a better, better families, better communities, and essentially better nation and a better world. The tips may seem pretty simple because your spirit knows about these things already. It's just a reminder. It's a lot of reminders in the book. It's about coming back to yourself and literally about changing your mindset, because abundance is all around us. No matter what trials or tribulations we may be going through, abundance is all around us. So that's my take on it for now.
Hey, appreciate that, Livewire. Before you guys go and introduce yourselves, Livewire was saying, right? And she went back, even when she said that, I got to stop saying, she still said, but it made me think as she's saying that, but it made me think while you were saying that you are planting a seed as well. Like you're planting the seed. It's like, hey, like, these things, like this information I'm giving you,
we know it, we still do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so bring it out. Like,
no, that's a bar. I see what you just did.
Yeah. Like you informing, you educating people is like when you say I am, right? And you let the
affirmation. I just gave an affirmation to the people.
I just wanted to say
unintentionally because I was using it as a filler. Family, we could be transparent with y'all. I want to stop saying so many times. And is another filler, but in this instance, Brother Kimba is actually absolutely correct. It was like us affirming y'all that y'all already know these things. So that's dope.
Yeah, peace families, Brother Yomi Love, another proud member of the AIU movement, co-author of our new ebook, A Guide to Living in Abundance. So the motivation behind the book, was to, from the beginning, I'm saying, So abundance in Ujamaa, we were striving to build abundance in our community, and one of the things we found lacking was the abundant mindset. And we said, we can't change our behavior without first having that consciousness, that abundant consciousness. So once we came to that conclusion that was lacking in our community, we realized we could come up with a remedy by putting down certain principles, certain tools, certain steps, and creating this guide for how we can live in an abundance. And just to break down the book a little bit, we broke down abundance into 4 different areas. We talked about, spiritual abundance, so spiritual abundance, emotional abundance, health abundance, and of course, the abundance we normally think about, financial abundance. So it's broken down into those 4 chapters. So, once you go through the guide, each chapter will tell you at the end of each chapter, there are certain steps you can practice, because we want it to be a guide. We don't want it to just be theoretical. We want it to be actually transformational. And so there are guides at the end of each chapter to show you how you can actually start practicing these abundant principles and, put this abundant mindset into practice.
Hey, thanks for that. Sekmu, did you want to talk about the motivation behind the book and the importance of living in abundance, this ebook?
Of course. Peace, everyone. My name is Sekmut Kara, and I'm also part of the Abundance in Ujamaa movement. For me, the reason why I wanted was, for many reasons, Chris Empress and Yomi just stated. I feel like within our community, we have so much potential. And although knowledge is available, sometimes it's not digestible. And I feel as though it was important for us to put a piece of work out there as well that also provided a step-by-step guide to how you can actually live abundantly. Trending is the words abundance and meditation and positive thinking and all of these things, but so many times it's not applied practically. And we are forgetful people. We tend to forget what our intentions are throughout the course of the day. You could wake up, you could meditate, have your hour to yourself, journal, drink your coffee. And it's like, later something can happen when you leave your home and it completely, pulls you out of that mindset and all that work that you just put in. So I feel as though this book provides a reminder, as Empress said, but kind of reminding you throughout the day to kind of get back into that zone, and not allow the things that we cannot control, the things that we cannot change, to take us off of our grind, take us off of our goal. So I feel as though this book is really a excellent tool to help you to remember the importance of utilizing these things daily, because we do know a lot of these things that we're providing is not new information. They are divine reminders, but it's written in a way that you can actually realistically, easily apply it to your everyday circumstance and situation.
Hey, appreciate that. And the ebook, it's not a long book, right? We was very mindful in regards to creating a book that it's going to get straight to the point. It's going to be practical, and it's going to be easy read. I think that was something that we were thinking when we came together and said, hey, let's put out this ebook. We're more likely to have larger projects moving forward, but we definitely, we wanted to produce something for the people that they can get through in a day if need be. This is something that you could read in a day, and it is inspiring. It is motivating. There's six chapters. What is excluding the introduction and the conclusion? There's 4 chapters. Each one of the members of AIU focus on a particular aspect of our living. And Sekmu, you had focused on spiritual abundance. Can you talk about like the reason why spiritual abundance was something? Because I think we all felt that we wanted something resonated with us that we wanted to speak about. And it was spiritual abundance for you. So why spiritual abundance, and what can people learn from reading your particular chapter?
Yes. For spiritual abundance, that chapter basically talks about the energy that moves all things, which is the spirit. Um, and it's important for us to realize within that energetic field that we are constantly blessed and in abundance. So the chapter basically talks about different tools that you can use to help you come back to the realization that you're abundant, regardless of the situation that you currently find yourself in. It's a mindset that we constantly have to utilize over and over again in all situations. It doesn't necessarily have to be big situations. When we have internal conflict within ourselves on a regular basis, we need to be able to check it, take that energy, transmute it into something positive to help us continue on our journey. Like I said earlier, we cannot control things outside of us, but we can control how we respond to situations. So the best way for us to respond in the most planned and prepared way is to be spiritually abundant, is to understand that no person, no place, no situation, no thing, no nothing is working against you. Everything is working towards you reaching your purpose, you reaching your goal. So when we are spiritually abundant, we're able to see in the heart of every situation, even if that situation outside looking in might not necessarily look like, oh, this is going to work out in my favor. So pretty much the chapter talks about spiritual transmutation. Taking negative emotions, negative thoughts, negative feelings, negative patterns, and transmuting that energy into something that's actually going to fuel your purpose. It's going to fuel your goal. A lot of us struggle with procrastination. A lot of us struggle with a self-defeating mindset. A lot of us have, ways of thinking that do not serve us. And I feel like when we take the time to spiritually transmute the negative emotions that we're feeling, we begin to peel back those layers. And once we peel it back, we can get to the heart of who we are, and allow our soul now to really shine and live out its purpose. So I hope those who read that chapter are able to take that knowledge and just apply it. Be reminded that regardless of whatever's going on in your life, that it's working towards your purpose. So you have to find the blessing within it. You have to find the lesson within it.
Ashe, as you were speaking, one of the things
Yeah.
I heard an echo. One of the things that I was thinking about was what we have in our life, or what we receive in our life, is a result of what we already have. So what we have is a result of what we have. And what does that mean? What am I talking about? What we talk about abundance, everything that we need, we're born with. And so anything that we attain in life, whatever skills, whatever material possessions we have, is a result of things, our ability to do particular things. But we wouldn't have been able to do those things if we didn't possess that potential already. So once we're able to bring all of that out, however, see, usually there's things that's in our life that sparks something in us to do particular things or go in a certain direction. And it goes back to also what we were talking about with Livewire, the repetition of saying, you know. I'm gonna go back to that. And if the listener receives that, is they're receiving it, and I'm connected with education, because we know that education is to like bring something out, right? It's not necessarily putting in information. You educate people to bring something out of them that they already have. If you look at the etymology of education, and so connecting that with, you know, we're talking to you, we're telling you things that it's already in you, you know, and sometimes it'll hit you. You be like, hey, I already knew that, but it's all about bringing that out. But yeah, so I just wanted to say that before we go into another chapter in the book. Yomi, I'm going to ask you the same question in regards to what about health, because that's what your chapter is focusing on, health. Why does that resonate with you, that particular aspect of our life? And what is your chapter about, or what people can learn from your chapter?
Yeah, so health abundance resonates with me because, without health, health is our wealth. So we're talking about abundance. We can't enjoy wealth. The whole book is about abundance, but it doesn't matter how abundant you are if you don't have health. That's one of the things we say, health is our wealth. That's our true wealth. That's our first wealth. A lot of people talk about getting the bag, but the bag is really you. The bag is your health. You can't do anything else without your health first. So health really resonates with me. Health. I've been a health advocate, health, wellness warrior, student of the Queen of Afua for many years. So, I see that as, health is something in our community we really need to focus on. We've gotten away from a natural lifestyle, a natural way of living that will guarantee our health and our wellness. And that's something I'm really, passionate about, is us being healthy beings, physically healthy. But also what they could get out of my chapter is that, our physical health is also a result of, our spiritual health, our emotional health as well. We can't disconnect these things. They're all interconnected. Just as we're connected with nature, and part of us being physically healthy is also connecting with nature, we also have to connect with all parts of our being. We're spiritual beings, so I think it's very, relevant that, the chapter on spiritual abundance was the first chapter. Our spiritual being, our spiritual reality is our first reality, our primary reality. A lot of times we talk about, we only see the physical reality, and we focus on that, but we have to focus on our spiritual reality. We have to focus on our emotional reality as well. So that's one of the things they'll get with when they deal with my chapter. I think the main point is that health is our natural state of being. So we just have to do the things that come naturally, and we have to work with nature, go with nature to achieve that physical abundance, or that health abundance. So that means eating natural foods. A lot of times we're eating foods now that are denatured, are just not natural, and we're calling them foods when they're really not foods. Food is supposed to fuel you. Food has vitamins and minerals in it, but now we're eating things that have no nutritional value. We're not eating things that are natural. We're not eating the fruits and vegetables that grow in nature. Or by the time we're eating them, they're so divorced from nature. So another thing is, we want to give our bodies rest. Our body naturally knows how to heal itself. Our body naturally can generate new cells. Our body can naturally rid ourselves of the toxins in our body. So we just have to stop doing the things that are interrupting the natural processes of our body, such as feeding it artificial foods, such as, you know, overworking ourselves, such as not giving ourselves enough rest. And also, it's very simple to know if something is healthy for you, you know, such as, are you getting energy from that thing? You know, everything has energy, whether it's the people we surround ourselves with, whether it's the places we go, whether it's the things we're doing. All of these things have an energy, and we can feel that energy. You know, you can walk into a room and you can feel the energy in that room, whether it's, you know, whether it uplifts you or you start to or feel drained in that room, or, you know, there's times you walk into a room and you have this sense of dread, you know. So everything has an energy. It's about being sensitive to the energies around us, you know. So the conversations we're having, are these conversations uplifting us? Or are we engaging in, you know, negative conversations? That's something we have to look at. You know, we can look at the foods. Are these foods giving us energy and fueling us? Or are we feeling tired and feel like we have to go to sleep and we get the itis after we eat the foods? These are things we have to examine if we want to live an abundantly healthy life or create that healthy lifestyle for ourselves. So it's very easy, you know, it's simple. It's simple, it's easy, but it's something we have to pay attention to. And just, I think walking away is, you know, everything is connected and everything is energy. So looking at the energy, whether something is raising your energy, raising your vibration, or it's lowering your energy and it's lowering your vibration. You know, when we talk about somebody dying, we say they're expired. So they're losing their spirit. You know, we all have this life force within us. So it's just do the things that are increasing your life force and stay away from the things that are going to decrease your life force. That's how I would summarize it in a nutshell.
Hey, that was powerful. I'm thinking in terms of health, Brian. You said health is wealth. Well, this, even if we just take the scenario of just a hypothetical, right? And if someone was to come to you and say, "Hey, you can live materially wealthy for the rest of your life, but you would have to live the rest of your life unhealthy," and when I say unhealthy, just, you know, like sick, you're always getting sick, and we all know what comes with like illnesses and so forth. Um, and there's no expiration date on it either. So no telling how long you'll live unhealthy, right? But you can be wealthy for the remainder of your life, or you can live healthy for the rest of your life. There's nothing else that comes with that, right? But you can live healthy for the rest of your life. I think most people would decide to live. Well, let me not say that, because under this system, man, folks be thinking about it. I just want to get the bag. Forget it, right? But the same thing, the same thing to do would say, hey, I'd rather be healthy for the rest of my life. And that's the thing with when you're in a healthy state, physical health, mental health, all of that is connected. Uh, we can always make decisions that's going to bring us that material wealth. And then material wealth is what, you know, at the end of the day, like what determines how wealthy we are materially. And usually under this system, society is telling you what that is. And because of this lie that's being told to us, where we have to have all of these things to feel like we're successful and wealthy and so forth, like we don't see the wealth in health, good health. We don't see the wealth in being able to be around family and friends. You know, wealth is in so many places, and just even have just the basics, right? Being able to have food, clothing, and shelter, right? That's wealth in itself. That's more than some people have, right? So I think like when it comes to like that material wealth, it's also a matter of perspective, it's a matter of mindset. But I think like your chapter is very important, man. It speaks to something that everybody should like really focus on, because when it comes to the abundance part of it, abundance and health is going to, you talk about the expiration date, it's going to put more time, or the duration of your existence is going to extend as a result of that health that you have, that abundance of health. So that means an abundance of life as well. You know what I'm saying? And so people who don't take the health aspect of our life seriously, who lack abundance of health, is going to lack an abundance, or they're going to lack time on this planet, I guess, just to sum it up. So yeah, just some thoughts off of what you were saying in your chapter, man. Very important chapter. Did you have any other thoughts on that? I was going to go into joy. It looked like Yomi froze. I'm not sure. You still there, Yomi? He might have froze. But I was going to go into one of the other chapters. One of the authors of Abundance in Ujamaa, Livewire, she's not here at the moment, but I wanted to pull. She focused on joy, an abundance of joy. I'm going to share my screen and pull up her chapter. And so let me just read an excerpt from our book, Living in Abundance. And this is chapter 2 by Empress Livewire. And her quote, she says, "Choosing joy daily is a superpower." And so I'm just going to read a page. She says, "Everyday life can be challenging at times, whether you are building with the community, working at a job you don't like, or just navigating through the ebbs and flows of daily situations. If we are not intentional with our thoughts, feelings, and actions, it can be extremely stressful and taxing. It can take a toll emotionally, psychologically, and physically. As we continue to build with our community and practice Ujamaa, it is imperative that we take care of our mind by cultivating a positive mindset and make living joyfully a daily priority. If we do not take these measures, then we risk becoming drained and burdened with life. From personal experience, this is not a risk we should take. Stress can manifest into mental and physical illness, and we just talked about health, right? The goal is to be joyful and walk in our divine purpose. The goal is to experience the fullness of life, the highest heights of love, to have energy, strength, health, wellness, and vitality." In this chapter, we will outline how to live joyfully, regardless of your goals, purpose, or your financial situation. You will find that enjoying the journey of life will increase your well-being and you will be more successful. That was powerful, right? That's an excerpt from Living in Abundance right there. Pull you back up. That was an excerpt from Living in Abundance. I thought that was a powerful opening to that chapter. Did y'all have any thoughts about that excerpt, or joy, or joy in general? Yeah,
I absolutely agree with so many of the things that she mentions in the chapter. It's so funny because when we were reading the book over to make sure that we had a book that had no errors, spelling errors, and things like that, like it re-inspired me to continue on my journey. In particular, reading that chapter. Having joy is a mixture of many things, including the spiritual abundance as well as the health abundance. So, one of the things about our book that's really powerful is that how everything ties into each other. We have to think holistically when it comes to our well-being. One thing I wanted to add is that, a lot of times when we're told about our health, eating better, making better food choices, eating less calories, and, all these different things about, what we consume, because, we're trying to live long, we don't want to die. The reality is that we all die. It's not a matter of you eat, healthy is going to guarantee that you're going to have a long life. It's more so when you are conscious about your health, when you're conscious about choosing joy, when you're conscious about spiritual abundance, your quality of life improves, your quality of life increases, and your perspective starts to change. So when we talk about having gratitude, being grateful for the things that we have, it's so much more of a organic thing to be grateful for all the things that are in your life, no matter how small they are, because you're seeing the abundance, you're feeling the abundance, and it begins to manifest in the direction of the things that you think about. So I feel as though, all of our chapters leading up to living joyfully kind of really give you a key to unlocking these things, and being reminded for those who already know about these teachings to utilize it. So many of us, we spoke about how this is not new knowledge, but it's important to actually now put it into practice for those of us who are not. I just kind of wanted to add that into the conversation.
Yeah, I think I think the power of joy is, joy is powerful, and I think it just ties in well with, going right after the chapter on spiritual abundance, because, to me, joy is, when you are spiritually abundant, and then, just going back, and making those connections, like Sister Sekmu said, we're holistic. And one of the things is our reality, our material abundance is going to be a reflection of our, our spiritual abundance, our emotional abundance. We're the creators of our reality. The world is responding to the vibration we're putting out there. Two people could live in the same material environment, and their trajectories, the outcomes could be totally different. So the difference isn't the material conditions. The difference would be the immaterial conditions. That's why this book is so important, and us talking about building this consciousness, this abundant consciousness, is so important. Two people in the same material conditions, but they have different immaterial conditions, different subjective realities, different emotional realities, different spiritual realities, going to lead to different outcomes. So a lot of people have this victim mentality, and that's one of the things we realized as we were organizing, that a lot of people live with despair or helplessness. That was one of the things we ran into when we were organizing people and trying to build people and trying to build, abundant communities. We realized that our people have this learned helplessness and this despair, this sadness, or this anger, and we know we can't build abundance if we're stuck in that mentality of a victim mindset, or a victim mentality, or despair or helplessness. We aren't helpless. The world is actually responding to our emotions. So we have to, raise our vibration, raise our consciousness to one where we're hopeful rather than helpless. Where we're joyful rather than, sad or angry at our conditions. Our conditions aren't going to change until we change. I believe you said earlier that, we have everything we need within us already. So we have the seeds of abundance. We just have to recognize those seeds. We have to recognize it within ourselves. As you said so eloquently earlier, Brother Kemba. So it's really powerful. Another thing, Empress Livewire always says is joy is an inside job. It's work we have to do on ourselves. It's very easy to just, let the outside world or let the material conditions dictate our emotions. But it's a harder job for us to take the work, to do that inner work of recognizing we do have those seeds of abundance within us already, regardless of the conditions. And the conditions will change once we change the internal conditions. One of the things the elders have always said is, as within, so without. So it's work we have to do internally, and it's work that is unseen. It's not glamorous work. A lot of people will look at the people who've achieved the material abundance, or achieved any kind of success, but you don't get to see them you know, you're not in the gym with them every day. You know, you're not seeing the work they're doing when nobody's watching. So that's the work we have to do. And the work is, you know, to build that joy. And that's the inside job. So, you know, it's not glamorous because nobody gets to see it. You know, it's unseen. The fruits will be seen later on, but you know, we have to do that work as far as that emotional work inside before we're gonna see the fruits of that. So yeah, that chapter is very powerful.
Yeah, I appreciate everything that's being said, and I know people who are viewing this and will be viewing this in the future is going to appreciate it, because I mean, it's very, you spoke to some of the contradictions in the community that we observed. I mean, we experienced it because we were a part of it, organizing and attempting to connect with folks. And one of the things that we kept on saying as we're organizing is, hey, we're trying to build with like-minded people. And it wasn't necessarily, you know, you had to have the same political or you know, philosophy or ideology. Like you know, you could be Christian, you could be Muslim, we weren't asking you to have a certain spiritual or religious belief, but there was a particular mindset that we were looking for in people, right? And it was that abundance mindset, that you know, the mindset that no matter what, you know, we're going to organize, we're going to work together in the spirit of Ujamaa. And Ujamaa is cooperative economics, for those who don't know. And everything else, you know, it doesn't matter. We're not going to let that impact us. And our goal as a community is to empower us, is to build wealth with each other. That's the mindset we was looking for. And for some reason, you know, a lot of people didn't have that mindset. And that goes back to part of the motivation for this book, is because it's one thing to sit back and just complain about it and say, oh, you know, people, you know, they don't think like this, or they're not doing this. But it's another thing to observe a void or a problem in the community and to offer a solution for it. And that's what Abundance and Ujamaa does. That's what we have been doing. That's what this ebook is coming out of the spirit of that. And just real briefly, I won't spend a lot of time on it. My chapter is dealing with Ujamaa, cooperative economics. And it's the economic philosophy that we feel as African people that we want to adopt in order to empower our communities. And so all of the wealth, and this is particularly speaking about financial economic wealth that we want to acquire, we want to make sure that it's not at the expense of other African people. So it's about us working together cooperatively and building wealth through the connection, through the unity that we have with each other. And so the book talks about, the chapter speaks on the importance on that and the type of mindset that we need, and some information about books that you can read to help you develop that mindset, such as Dr. Amerson Wilson's Blueprint for Black Power, and Dr. Claude Anderson's Powernomics that talks about cooperative economics. And so we can look at our ancestors as well. Julius Nyerere, he wrote the book Ujamaa, right? So this is an African philosophy and way of life that we want to bring back and adopt. So, and so that's my chapter. And the combination of the book speaking to these different things, we're hoping that people can walk away empowered. Well, we know people will walk away empowered afterwards. So with that being said, though, like any thoughts like on the I did have a question though about because I kind of lost my train of thought, but I had a question about Ujamaa.
Well, I just want to add on real quick.
Yeah,
well, that was powerful what you just said, that, you know, we're not just looking for abundance for ourselves, but we're looking for abundance for our community, our people as a whole. You know, we're, again, just going back, we're not separate. We're not, you know, individuals. We have to look at ourselves as part of a community. You know, one of our principles is Ubuntu, simply meaning I am because we are. We don't see ourselves as just individuals. That's something. And you said for some reason, but I think we can point out the reason our people have a mindset of, individualism, or an exploitative mindset. We live in an exploitative society, an individualistic society. So it's not by accident. We're dominated by principles that are actually anti to our culture as a people. So it's not by mistake. It's not by happenstance. It's not random that we run into these issues when trying to organize our people and trying to build our people on a collective basis. We're trained. We're ideologically dominated by oppressive society that instills these values that are actually anti-people. Not just anti-us, but just anti-people, anti-nature in general. So it's very important for us to recognize that and come up, like you said, come up with a solution. If our people are being trained to act against our own interests, we have to unlearn that and then retrain ourselves to act in our own interest, to act in our own collective interest. So yeah, it's very, the name AIU, Abundance in Ujamaa, we say we want abundance, but it's going to be in Ujamaa, in cooperative, us working cooperatively and economically cooperatively. Sorry, that was a lot to say. So, we're not just looking to become abundant by ourselves or as individuals. The point of the AIU movement was always to build collectively, and to support businesses, Black businesses in our community, and make sure those businesses are supporting the community, that those dollars are just circulating and building up the community. That's how we're going to build the community. Let's circulate our resources amongst each other so that we are all benefiting. And it's not we're not just looking for individuals to benefit. We're not just looking for a lot of times this society points out to individuals as successful. We're not just looking for the Oprahs or the Jordans, just 1% to succeed. We're looking for us to succeed as 100%. So I think that was a very important point you made about we're looking to build collectively and achieve this abundance collectively, not just separately or as individuals. And that's the only way we're going to achieve it, is through us working collectively and not as individuals, and seeing ourselves as collectives, not just as individuals.
Yeah, Ashe, appreciate that. I want Sekmut to build on that as well. I'm just going to share the screen and pull up our book, Living in Abundance, and you guys, the link is in the description, direct link. Also, you can go to our link tree, and there's a link to the ebook there as well. That is in the chat. So click on that. I'm going to pull the book up. Sekmut, did you want to build on anything you heard? I know it was a lot said.
I surely did want to throw a brick on that. I was, going to add that, you guys did touch on the fact that we initially started, as a group with the heart and the intention of collective group economics. And at the time, the model that we were using, although it seemed sound, it was challenging because a big part of the success was dependent on individual responsibility and collective trust. And I think throughout the heart of the journey of the AIU, that was something that really was paramount to our success or our failure as, as an organization that's rooted in cooperative economics. So, writing this book, I think really spoke to that. We as African people on the continent, as well as in the diaspora, we have so much going on in our lives every day, just trying to survive. It's a challenge for most of us to get to a place where we're thriving. We're at that point when all of our basic needs are met, we can really start using our mind powers to build on other things. So many of us are in survival mode, are in poverty mode, are in lack mindset. So this book was necessary, and I think it was a really natural progression in a way that we as a organization could help our people and can reach our people. We initially came together to help our people, you know, off the bat financially, like let's get this money immediately. But we realized that we were not there yet because the spiritual, mental health, the financial mindset hasn't fully shifted where we could hold ourselves individually responsible as well as trusting one another for us to really build and grow like so many other communities we have seen um, do. Brother Kimber mentioned earlier about how it doesn't matter what your cultural affiliation, religious affiliation is within the African spectrum, of course. As long as you economically wanted to build is what we were accepting. Those are the people that we wanted to work with. But the realization that even though we have people who see the same vision that we did of, growing our people as a economic powerhouse. Like we are, I think at this point, a multi-billion-dollar people. We spend almost $1 trillion a year. So we have the finances, and the question is always asked, if we have the funds and the resources, why are we not collectively doing things to help improve all of our condition? Because it doesn't matter whether we're African, whether we consider ourselves African, Moors, Indigenous, Muslim, Caribbean, Ghanaian. It doesn't matter. When we are treated in inhumane ways in this country, they're not asking what religious and cultural affiliations we have. They see us as a group of individuals that need to be reminded of their place. So in order for us to come together economically, we may have had the passion to do that, but there were steps that we had to take before. We really had to be in a space of crawling and walking before we can really soar above the oppression that we globally experience. So this book was necessary, and I think it speaks to the collective community about the things that we can do, the practical things that we can do as a group to collectively build economically, but it also speaks to the individual self because the change that we want to see in the world, we have to be a reflection of that. We have to be the change that we want to see in the world. So I think this book on so many levels can help us to continue on this journey. And it's a short book, something that should be read on a regular basis as a reminder of what your goal is, what your purpose is, and to not allow yourself to be taken away from your purpose and your goal of collective economics because of a temporary current situation.
That was powerful. Appreciate that that input. Appreciate that. You can tell when you speak, it comes from the spirit, man. This is a powerful book, collectively put together. Uh, we can say that this book was written by the people, not not just a single individual, right? This is the people who put this together, and that collectivism is so important. Like when we talk about Pan Africanism, I think like AIU. Not that I think we embody Pan Africanism in our organization as coming with even the different backgrounds and are able to come together and be an example. I think like we're one of the great examples of Pan Africanism. I mean, we're from Philadelphia, backgrounds from Philadelphia. We have backgrounds from Honduras, Trinidad, Jamaica, Nigeria. This is what we represent. And I say we, it's not like, I look at it as this person isn't from Honduras. Like when we come together, we're from Honduras, like as African people, because I feel like building together, we're sharing our background and experiences with each other. And so we become all of those things. That's going back to the Ubuntu. I remember I'm from Philadelphia. When I moved to New York, I lived in New York for so long. I still work there, right? And go back and forth. And I used to come back from Brooklyn to Philadelphia. And when I'm talking to my friends, they like, yo, you sound like you're from New York now. You're not from Philadelphia anymore. I used to get that all the time, But just an example of how I took New York, though, I took a part of New York and made it a part of me. And so that's what, we are when we come together. We're all of these things, and being African embodies it all. And so, I just wanted to make that point and give you guys the last word too. So Yomi and Sekmu, any last thoughts and anything you want to say about the book as well? Any last thoughts? It's up to you. Whatever you want to say.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful point. We're not we're not just one thing. We're everything, as you said, everything. We've combined all our experiences. I think that's a part of consciousness, is your experiences. And so, we have this collective experience as, we come from these different backgrounds, but we're able to, take the best of all these different experiences, and it creates this greater consciousness. I think that's a great point. And I think, organization is great. Whether it's good organization or bad organization, beats no organization. And I think, that's one of the lessons, like Sekmu said, one of the lessons learned is that we need to have some foundation. So I think, well, I know, I'm very proud of us creating this ebook and leaving this, for this is going to stand the test of time, not just serving us right now, but this will go on, this will live on, even after we've gone on to the ancestral realm. So this is a foundation, and I think it's a lesson that we try to jump ahead in a sense. We wanted to change the behavior of our people. We wanted our people to start practicing cooperative economics, but we realized we didn't have that firm foundation mentally or spiritually or emotionally first. So we have to deal with all those things, and then we'll see the behavior change. We can't expect our people to change their behavior if their mindset hasn't changed. So, that's the beauty of this. I'm very proud of us coming together and, completing this book. And I'm very proud. I look forward to the impact it's going to have on our community. I'm very proud that we didn't just take that experience as a loss. It was actually a lesson for us. And we've actually problem solved, came up with a solution. A lot of people like to talk about problems and never offer a solution to their people. So I'm very interested in the people who are offering solutions, and I'm very interested in being one of those people that's offering solutions. So, this is an offering we're giving to our people, to our community, to the future. So I would like everybody to support themselves in purchasing a copy of the book, A Guide to Living in Abundance. And like we said, it's a very short book. Like you said, you can read it in a day, a week, but it's very, very powerful, something you can reread. And I'm interested in us all, reading it and seeing where we're at. Let's have this discussion again a year from now and see the fruits of this book. So I'm encouraging everybody to pick up their copy today. Send peace and blessings to everybody, and much love.
Right on. Sekmu, did you have any last thoughts?
I think Brother Yomi said it very well. And I just, second the notion of encouraging our community to get the book, support the AIU movement, follow us on Instagram at the AIU movement. If there are any comments that, if anyone would like to build with us, you can always email us at the AIU movement at gmail.com. So yeah, let's, get the conversation going. It would be wonderful to hear any feedback from those who purchased the book. Let's continue to grow our community. We would love to continue to build and grow with like-minded individuals. We do, as it was mentioned earlier, have programs throughout the course of the year in Brooklyn, New York. So come out, support us, and let's build.
Ashe.
Ashe. And look forward to us doing more of these conversations. So, that's on the horizon. We've been discussing. Actually, we have one coming up, if I'm not mistaken. But look out for AIU doing more of, or having more of these conversations on We Charge Colonialism channel, and also begin to subscribe to Abundance and Ujamaa. We have our own YouTube channel as well that we're going to be building. So make sure that you're following or subscribe to both. But yeah, definitely you'll hear more of us this year. So with that being said, man, I want to appreciate everybody for tuning in to another conversation, another podcast at We Charge Colonialism. Visit the website, wechargecolonialism.org, and we're going to bring this discussion to a close. Purchase the ebook, A Guide to Living in Abundance, $11.11. We all can do that. Appreciate you. So until next time, peace.
Give thanks,
Peace.
family.